Is a fire district allowed to levy special assessments for funding? Have you ever wondered how fire districts manage to fund their essential services? Today, we will answer the question, is a fire district allowed to levy special assessments for funding? The answer is yes, but there are some important details to consider. Fire districts can impose special assessments to finance their services, but this ability is governed by specific legal and procedural requirements that can differ from one area to another. Special assessments are not the same as general taxes. They are charges placed on property owners in a designated area to pay for specific public improvements or services that directly benefit those properties. For fire districts, this means that the assessments must be proportional to the benefits received by the properties being assessed. In other words, if a property receives more fire protection services, it may pay a higher assessment than a property that receives less. To levy these special assessments, fire districts usually need legal authorization under state law. The process typically involves several steps. First, the fire district must prepare detailed plans and cost estimates for the services or improvements that the assessment will fund. Next, they must notify property owners about the proposed assessment and hold public hearings to gather feedback. After that, the governing board of the fire district or the voters may need to approve the assessment. Depending on the local laws, a simple majority vote from the district board might suffice, or it may requiring a vote from the community. Once approved, the assessment roll is certified, and the funds are collected through property tax bills or separate billing. The money raised through these assessments is dedicated to fire protection services. This can include funding for fire prevention programs, staffing, equipment, and emergency response capabilities. Since these funds are tied to specific benefits, they provide a reliable and transparent source of revenue for fire districts. In practice, some fire districts establish independent special assessment districts. In these cases, the assessment is clearly linked to the level of fire protection services provided to each property. If a fire district cannot secure funding through special assessments, it may need to negotiate alternative agreements with local governments or relying on general fund allocations, which can be less predictable. Special assessments can also be tailored to reflected differences in property type, size, or risk level. This ensures that funding for fire services is fair and equitable. For firefighters and fire safety, the ability to levy special assessments is vital. It allows fire districts to secure dedicated funding necessary to maintain adequate staffing, equipment, and readiness. This funding mechanism helps ensure that fire protection services are dependable and responsive to community needs, ultimately improving public safety. So, in summary, fire districts are generally permitted to levy special assessments for funding, as long as they follow the appropriate legal procedures. This method supports sustained fire safety services that are tailored to the needs of the communities they serve.